Ahoy!
Welcome back to Girl Historians.
I'm Carley.
I'm Blair.
And welcome to day 2 of the 12 Days of Icons, where we count down the 12 days of Christmas by unpacking every single day a new icon of history.
Yeah, we're also doing it in a radical random order of release. So is it 12 days in a row? Is it 2 days?
Time will tell,
week?
but there will be 12.
But there are 12 there are 12 icons that we're doing.
So, you can strap in that way.
Fucking pack in. Fucking strap in. Okay, are you ready?
I'm so excited.
For my icon.
Yes.
Louisa May Alcott.
Oh my God. This is going to be a crazy list.
Yeah, we did not confer with each other we were doing it all.
We need to make by the end like a Canva graphic
of our icons.
The Girl Historians 2024.
Icons.
History icons.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, even thinking of icons to do, I'm all over the map.
Mine are insane.
I
almost did Saddam Hussein. I didn't because
you've got a real different angle. You brought in O.J. Simpson. I brought in Louisa May Alcott.
I know, but that's what's beautiful about history, and the
really
definition
amazing.
of an icon can be so personal.
Exactly. It can be a war criminal or an author.
Yes, definitely.
And anything in between.
And O.J. Simpson.
And O.J. Simpson. A war criminal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Louisa May Alcott, you may know her as the author of Little Women.
Pew, 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 pew.
But she's pretty cool.
Okay, I'm excited to learn.
All right, so Louisa May Alcott, she's born on November 29th, 1832 in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
She's best known for Little Women, et cetera, et cetera. So she's raised in like kind of a cool family. They're really like in with the arts. And they're transcendentalists.
Okay.
Do you know what a transcendentalist is?
I know meditation.
It's like, honestly, I kind of want to become one where it's just like, this is like thinking that like there's like good in the world.
I
and
love.
that it's like, it's really beautiful.
I'm into that.
And like, I kind of want to do more of this.
Yeah.
And so she's raised and like influenced by prominent thinkers like Emerson and Thoreau.
Aren't we all?
So she's got a lot of shit going on. She also serves as a nurse during the Civil War. And so she like
in Pennsylvania, they're on the right side of things.
They're the Union.
Yeah, thank God.
And so she like her like early kind of work is kind of dark. Like she does this like book called like Hospital Sketches, where it's like about being on like the war battlefield, stuff like that. So she's pretty cool. She also was an abolitionist, and when she was young, her parents were a like stop on the Underground Railroad for escaped slaves.
Work.
Yeah, she
That's
also
awesome.
like, yeah, she's pretty cool. So they were like super abolitionists. There's also like a story about like I wasn't able to confirm this because again, when things happen in the past, sometimes
who's to say?
It's who's to say, girl? Who's to say, baby girl? But like she was like saved from drowning in a pond by like a black boy.
So and then she went
and then she was like, wow. So, Rights
for all.
But pretty cool that like their house was literally a stop on the Underground Railroad.
That's really sick.
And so she like went to like she wrote like anti-slavery like pamphlets and stuff like that. She went to like rallies and stuff in support of like she was like we should be like a fully like integrated society and stuff.
Yes, I'm all for integration. It's the next frontier.
Not in Baltimore, it isn't.
And
may I be frank?
First impressions can be tough, but when I saw you, I knew it. If your size wasn't enough, your last answer just blew it. Okay, Hairspray.
Love Hairspray.
Love Hairspray.
But yeah, so very forward thinking. She was also the first woman to register to vote in Concord, Massachusetts in 1879.
Obsessed with her.
She also was like, women come vote. And she like apparently was really disappointed that
women came to vote.
Women didn't really come to vote.
Yeah.
She also was like very...
Get used to that, Louisa.
Get used to that.
Sit in that feeling. Because that feeling is going to follow us to 2024.
Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
150 years later, still happening.
Yes.
So she also like was very like classically like a tomboy in school. She was like friends with the boys because they were less drama.
Well, and they are less drama.
They're less drama. Being friends with women is really hard because they're always turning drama.
And boys don't do drama.
Boys don't do drama. Girls are always doing their makeup.
Shopping. And it's like, read a book, stop doing drama.
Read a book, stop doing drama. Maybe try playing sport.
Jesus.
Maybe try playing sport. So she didn't really relate to like a lot of women, but she did have like women in her family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she was classically tomboy.
It's the past.
She wanted to do things that the boys did.
You can't begrudge women for being not like other girls in the past when gender norms were so heavily influenced. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 100%.
it's a bit different now. It's like shut the fuck up. But back then it was like, well, I actually don't want to just be wife.
Yeah,
I would like to do other things. Girls have minds and souls
and hearts. But she
oh, I love that movie.
She was like, her publishers wanted her to write like a book about women, and I love her, but she did say like, I don't really know if I can write anything about women. I don't find them very interesting. And then she wrote Little Women.
You obviously do.
Louisa, you wrote Little Women.
Like a book that has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Because women are people, and you saw that.
Yeah, exactly. So she's pretty cool. Wrote Little Women. She also wrote the sequel Little Men, which I weirdly have a really old copy of right there.
Oh yeah.
On my shelf. I actually can't remember where that even came from.
Feels like monkey paw.
Monkey paw. It really is. It's freaky. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, pretty iconic. She writes Little Women. She also was single her entire life. She never married, never had children.
Yes, that's iconic. I love when women of the past who have the means just don't marry.
Yeah,
she was so sick to me.
Like, no,
people always say that about Jane Austen. They're like, and she never married. And we're like, well, did we ask her if she was sad about that? It's that Whoopi Goldberg thing. I don't want a man in my house.
No, literally, having men in your house. I know you have a man in your house all the time.
Yeah, but that's because I'm good. My soul is good. Like,
yeah,
if it was societally acceptable to live separately, I'd pitch.
Well, like, do you ever have like a man in your house and then like your skin gets oily? And you're sort of like, what?
It's different. There's like different hygiene, like baselines. And I'm always like, why do men's houses always have just a single gray towel?
It's really freaky.
What the fuck is that about?
It's really scary and unsettling.
It's unsettling.
No, it's freaky. So she never marries. She's a lifelong spinster. She does adopt her sister's daughter after her sister dies.
Okay, I was going to say woo, but then her sister died, so it's actually sad.
It's sad.
I caught myself.
But she is quoted. This is kind of why I wanted to talk about her, because she is quoted about her spinsterhood in an interview saying, quote, "I am more than half persuaded that I am a man's soul put by some freak of nature into a woman's body, because I've fallen in love with so many pretty girls and never once the least bit with any man."
Oh, good girl. Honestly, been there.
Girl. And so I think it's so interesting because, like, you think about her and kind of like, you know, obviously if you know Little Women, you know that Jo is kind of her like self-insert, this like woman who wants to be able to do stuff that like the boys do. And then at the end of Little Women, Jo ends up getting married and stuff like that, even though like her publishers pressured her into that ending. She wanted Jo to like, be single.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to be like, was she queer?
Yeah, it's so hard to like figure it out because obviously in the past, like even their understandings like 50 years ago about sexuality are so different from our understanding of sexuality now.
For sure.
Because like she's saying it being like, bleh, I'm like a guy. And you're like, you sound like a lesbian.
Yeah, you sound like a lesbian.
And said with love and light.
Yeah. Or you sound like you're trans.
Yeah.
And like, but she could also just be like,
I would love that wrinkle.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
But like, I know it's
non-binary lesbian.
I do not think that it is good to assume people's sexuality, but I do think when it comes to like people in the past and trying to like contextualize their life, it's like, oh my, like I do think that like she is a part of queer culture.
And I think there is a benefit when people in the past like did say like, I love being gay, but like they didn't say gay. You know what I mean? I think there is a benefit to taking them at their word because I think this again is an argument against like the homophobic rhetoric of being like, nobody used to be gay, now everybody's gay. It's like, well, they were gay.
Maybe if they were let to be gay.
Yeah, exactly. Like
they would have been a little bit more gay.
Because it's hard to like, because really like all we know about queer history is like stories of pain.
Yeah.
Just like that's like the history that is remembered. And then you can just be like, or you could just be Louisa May Alcott living it up with your adopted niece.
That's what I'm saying.
Time of your life.
But she, honestly, I do think that like for this reason, she is a huge icon. Also, Little Women, what a long-standing iconic story.
One of my favorite jokes, I remember when I was seeing like Reese in a sketch show, and he wrote the joke where it was like a guy, it was a sketch about like a white knight kind of thing, of, like a guy who was like trying to, like being like so performatively like feminist. And he was getting mad at like his friend for being a misogynist because he said, if I ever saw Harvey Weinstein, I would curb stomp him. And his friend was like, no, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
And he was like, oh, look, it's a copy of Little Women, or as you would call it, Little Bitches.
That's really good.
I always think of little bitches.
Little bitches.
It's a great sketch.
She also was convinced that she died of mercury poisoning, but she didn't. It was probably an autoimmune
She was convinced
disease.
of herself that she was dying.
She was
of
like, I
mercury
think
poisoning?
I have mercury poisoning. For some reason.
How old was she?
She died. You know what? She was 55.
Okay, I mean, not great, but past.
It's not great, but you know what? It was the past, and she did all right. But oh my god, wait, this is gonna drive me crazy because I wrote down the reason she thought she was mercury poisoned, and then I deleted it for some reason. But yeah, she thought she was mercury poisoned, but it probably wasn't. She was probably not mercury poisoned.
I love just taking a swing though.
Yeah, no, it's fun. This is me when I diagnosed myself with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Bro, somebody diagnosed you with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome in the comments. I saw that. They're like, Blair, you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
I think I have it.
Jamil has it.
I
my
think
sister's friend growing up had it.
I think a lot of people have it. I think my sister has it too. I literally think.
Isn't it like gummy joints? Like it's obviously other stuff besides that as well. But I remember my sister's friend who had it growing up like would always dislocate her shoulder.
Yeah.
Is that maybe I'm
because like I'm like
maybe that was a separate symptom of something else.
No, that's like a thing. That's like, you know.
So it was fucking nasty.
Yeah.
She'd just be playing and then she'd be like, hey, I dislocated my shoulder. And I'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's not my job. I don't want to reconnect it.
No, I do think that is.
But kind of metal to be like 11 years old and be like, hey, my shoulder's disconnected.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like pop it back in.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah. But that's pretty much Louisa May Alcott. Sorry that I can't find her her reason she thought she was mercury poisoned.
You can Google it.
I know, I've been trying to.
It was because she experienced some of the symptoms of it. It was because she was being treated for typhoid fever in 1863 and suffered mercury poisoning, and then from being treated for typhoid.
Yeah. With the mercury.
But then had like continuing symptoms the rest of her life.
Yeah, but she was probably just like had a brutal autoimmune disease.
And yeah, exactly. So they're like, oh, I'm continuing to be mercury poisoned, and they only have 7 diseases in the past. So
yeah,
exactly.
Like, well, so it's probably mercury poisoning.
Could be hysteria.
Probably. It
or
could
typhoid.
Could be anything. But yeah, so she's my first icon, I think.
I love that. This is a good variety. I really think there's something for everybody.
This is going to be fun.
And Little Women to me is a Christmas movie.
Oh, 100%. It's especially like it's in the snow. You're in like Massachusetts.
They're inside.
In a cabin. They're wearing those like little clothes. Oh my God, when I was
little scarves that they
all I ever wanted was like a little like to wear a little shawl for winter.
Yeah.
Like a little cape. I'm like, I was so mad.
My sister had a cape growing up, and I did not let her live that down for 1 second.
That's really good.
As an older sister, like imagine your child sister comes out in a cape, and you're like, well, unfortunately,
it's game over for you.
Yeah, I don't know what you thought was gonna happen here.
I don't know how you thought you were safe.
But to her credit, wore that motherfucking cape for years. Like, did not let me stop her from being like, oh, your cloak is here.
Oh, your cloak is here.
I also want to say that I was like 10. Like I wasn't like at 19 bullying my sister.
For full adult being like
gay, oh, your little gay
cloak. Your little gay cloak, you freak. But that's my first icon.
Woo!
Let's fucking go. Do you remember when ponchos were in?
Yes.
I want ponchos back in.
You should watch the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix. It's awesome.
True.
I'm obsessed with her now.
Okay.
And when she got out of prison, she wore a poncho that a woman in prison made her.
Okay.
And I found it very moving because then when she was on her first show back after being in prison, her dogs were wearing the poncho, like a version of the poncho, and she was wearing her poncho, and the audience was wearing the poncho. And I found it very
so cool.
Moving. I was like, wow.
How stunning.
Mad respect for her. I mean, she went to jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know much about her at all. But she went to jail.
Yeah.
And I respect her for that.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for Let's Make This Tragedy About Us?
Give it to me.
Okay. Let's make this tragedy about us. Okay, here's my question for you, Carley.
Yes.
If you were to write a book, Little Blank, what would it be and what would it be about? It has to start with little.
Okay, I do like Little Bitches.
Little Bitches is good. You kind of brought that up and then it was like kind of answered the question.
Do you know the Click books? Like the Click books?
Yes, I never read them, but yes.
Okay. They're, if you do not know, like a middle grade series about a bunch of really bitchy middle schoolers who wear designer brands and bully a girl who's normal and then kind of learn to be better. But
and
like,
that happens
don't
to
really.
everyone.
Literally. Yeah. So I would write Little Bitches and it'd be the equivalent. It'd be like a modern day Click book where they're all wearing like little designer clothes and they're little bitches, but it's a family. It's like Little Women, but it's a family of like 4 girls and they're all like, it's kind of like, you know,
it's like
they
the virgin suicides, but assholes.
Yeah, they're assholes, but then it's kind of like Sense and Sensibility, where it's like they've lost their fortune or whatever.
Oh, that's good.
And then they have to learn to kind of move past their materialistic. You know what I mean?
That's like the Archibalds in Gossip Girl.
Exactly.
Wow. Dude, I love Gossip Girl.
I keep trying to get into it. And I can't. I think I gotta like set up time because I was really into Pretty Little Liars. And if somebody was like, I can't get into it, I'm like, you simply have to turn your brain off. Like there's no other, like if you're thinking about it too hard, you're not gonna like it. Like it's just vibes, you know?
Yeah, Gossip Girl. I feel like it's interesting because I can never get into Pretty Little Liars, but I'm a huge Gossip Girl fan.
But did you watch Gossip Girl when it was on?
I did, and then I rewatched it during the pandemic.
Yeah, because I watched Pretty Little Liars when it was on. I think watched Gossip Girl, so I think that's it. Of like you don't have that association. I don't have the association with Gossip Girl.
I also
because I love
Gossip
the show with
Girl
Coates.
Was not a type of show I would have ever watched. I only watched it because it was like the only character I'd ever seen who had my name.
So you had to show up for Blair.
Because I was like, I have to show up for a Blair character. And I read the books because I heard her name was Blair.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, fuck with Gossip Girl heavy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Pretty Little Liars, it was like, I was like a bit like, I got into Gossip Girl when I was like really young. And then I feel like when Pretty Little Liars came out, I was
3 years older than me? 2?
Yes.
3? Because that's big when you're like 13 to 16.
When did Pretty Little Liars come out?
I think it was around 2011, 2012. So like you would have been.
I would have been the age of the characters, at which point I would not watching it.
And it's almost like better if you're older.
Yes.
Because if like you're like in your 20s. You
have to be older or younger.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't just be their age.
I never would have watched like I watched Gossip Girl when I was like
Gossip
11.
Girl.
And I was like, okay.
My parents were like,
years are going to be awesome.
Not. Yeah, I cannot wait to strut in my Manola Blahniks.
And then I rewatched it in the pandemic. It was a perfect show to watch during lockdown. Yeah. I was like, oh, so
I was
good.
the same. I rewatched Pretty Little Liars and I was like, this rocks.
Yeah.
Especially being able to watch a show that aired week to week, but like in a binge.
Oh, yeah.
It's so satisfying because it's crazier.
Except I did that with Breaking Bad and it broke my brain. I couldn't think of anything but Breaking Bad for like the 3 months it took me to binge it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's mine. It'd be Little Mice.
Aww.
It'd be like a family of little mice.
And they're wearing little clothes.
Yeah, they wear little clothes.
That's cute.
And then one mice wants to be a city mice. It's Little Women, but they're mice, basically. Yeah.
That's so cute.
And no one kills them.
Of course not.
They're under no threat of killing.
Mice have minds.
Mice
and they have souls.
And souls. All right. Well, that's day 2.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.